Hi everyone, it's been quite a while since I've posted a video up onto my channel. We've had some personal medical things that we've been having to work our way through. It followed on from the stuff that was happening during our holiday, which is also why I haven't posted the sketchbook update yet. It's all okay, everything's on the recovery, but definitely it's been my main focus. And I really haven't done a lot of art, just have not had the brain bandwidth to do so over recent weeks or months. However, I thought I'd just do a very quick update to sort of go through what I have done. So I think back in September, I purchased these Derwent Procolour Pencils, and I had intended to go through any new items I'd bought, but as you can see, I've definitely used them. And I'll go through what I've been doing instead of a lot of creating my art, but I have been using my materials, which is, that's all I've been able to sort of muster. I decided to give the Procolour a little bit of a go, for the main reason being I just wanted to see how different it was to the Derwent Artist pencils that I do have. Now, my Derwent Artist pencils are over 20 years old, and some of them, the binders, messing up the pigments a little bit now, not surprisingly. They still work and I still really enjoy using them, but I was just curious to see how the Procolour pencil was in comparison. So rather than spend a lot of money on a set, what I decided to do, just to experiment and see if I actually like them, was pick up these pencils here from open stock. And I decided to base my selection on the pigment primaries, so similar to what's in your printer, with a magenta, a yellow, and I couldn't find a cyan, but I did find a blue. And then in addition to that, I picked up a black and a white, and then I grabbed a couple of extra pencils that I thought would allow me to mix and match and make some colours. So I've also got the Autumn Leaf and the chocolate, dark indigo, and I think that's, brown oxide. So these 9 pencils I have been using. I'm enjoying using them actually, and I'll just quickly show you what I've been doing. I've been using them in a colouring book. Over the recent weeks of needing to focus on medical stuff and helping and caring and everything else, I just have not had the bandwidth to create an actual art piece. But what I did want to do was use the pencils, so I figured that a adult colouring book might be a good thing to do, and it helped me relax, which is obviously why some people do it. I will preface this by saying I know there's a lot of wonderful colour book artists out there, and if anyone does watch this from them, I hope I do some justice with this. But what I wanted to do was use these pencils and layer them. So they are a hardcore pencil, which means they generally don't blend, but they do layer. So I'll go through the pictures in here that I've completed. So I've completed 6 pictures with the Procolour, and I'm actually in process of completing another 6 with the Derwent Artists pencils, and then I will complete another 6 pages of the Faber-Castell Polychromos just to compare. The paper in this is not artist quality paper, and that just basically means the number of layers of pencil is less than it would be if you're using I'll say an artist quality paper made for coloured pencils. But this does, it does a good job. So I will start with this picture here. So this was using the autumn leaf, the spectrum blue, and the ivory black. So obviously using 3 colours to complete this. So there wasn't a lot of layering with this piece. There's a little bit of layering with the flowers in the centre there. But most of this is actually, there's a little bit of layering here to get a bit of a sort of olive green, I guess you'd call it, or sort of a olivey colour anyway. And it was a bit of a challenge to see if I could complete a page with 3 pencils. So that's one of them. I can't remember the exact order I did this. I remember the first one though, and when that comes up, I will let you know. This was a second one. Again, this one was done with, I think, 3, which was the magenta, the spectrum blue, and the dark indigo. And I think there is a little bit of white here. So I put white on my little diagram here. So 4 colours, my mistake. So again, this was using a very limited palette of colour, experimenting with making different purples and playing around with the background. I do like this one. I think this came out quite nice. This is another one, again with 4 colours. So this is with the buttercup yellow, the spectrum blue, the dark indigo, and the white. So this was really playing with greens and blues, and I like some of the effects that I was able to get, particularly with these flowers here, and then the background going from yellow to green, and obviously doing the different layers to get different shades of green here, and then the different layers to get the different shades of blue. So I think this turned out quite well. I like this one as well. I like them all. I'm probably going to say that with every single one. Okay, this one was using all of them. So this was using the whole 9. I think this was the second one I did do. And obviously with the layering here, I found with these pencils, putting the darker color on first and then overlaying that with a lighter color tends to give I think a more pigmented image. I don't know what the right word is, my words aren't great. And then obviously getting the red. So with the pigment primaries, red's actually a secondary color, so it's by layering these 2, like the magenta and a yellow, to get oranges and reds. So that was kind of nice. I think the next one is the first one I did do. Yep, this is the first one I did. Again, this is with every color, and it's a very bright one, and this is the first time I was using these pencils, so I think some of my layering's not as good as it started to get as I used them more. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do 6, to play around with the colours. And, you know, as you use different pencils, each pencil's got its own, I think, unique way of being used, really. It's like the different pressures and what layers and what colours work well together is a little bit different per pencil, just because they've got different pigments and different binders, and they're all their own little uniqueness. And I think this is the last one. So again, this was using all of them as well. So I know they're the same pencils as you've seen. But again, this is layering different colours to get the purples and the reds and the oranges and the greens. And I do think this one turned out quite well. So that's kind of the art that I've really been doing. I have liked using these pencils, and I do want to actually use them in a actual art piece. I do think they layer quite well, and obviously you can make some good colours now. Obviously with more quality paper, you'd be able to do more layers and make some different colours, because you could keep layering, say, the yellow and get a really, really light green, or, you know, things like that. But for proof of concept, I think this has been quite good, and I am actually impressed that these have layered really well on, you know, what's not very expensive paper. It feels a bit like printer paper, to be honest. It's probably a bit better than that, but it's not paper that's designed to take a lot of layers of pencil. So I think most of this would be possibly for maybe 5 layers of pencil. I do colouring quite lightly, particularly when I know I'm layering, just so that you've got some space to sort of go from dark to light. But yeah, look, I'm hoping that maybe in the new year I'll be doing a couple of videos maybe of this as I use the other pencils I've got, just as a comparison. I know that, again, every colouring book's actually got different paper as well, and really this has been for me to see how they layer to make colours. Now, you don't have to do that. Obviously, if you've got a big set of pencils, I've got a big set of pencils too, but I do enjoy seeing what colours I can make from a limited palette, which is something that interests me. So I'm interested to sort of see how the different pencil brands go with this. So yeah, look, I know it's been quiet, and I appreciate you know, the support that I've been given over the recent months with my small channel, and I'm really hoping in, you know, through December I'll get a few extra videos up maybe, but if not, it's just that we've been, like I said, making our way through a bit of a medical journey, and obviously that's got to take priority over this. But if December gets a bit busy, then and you don't see me, that's why. But I'll definitely be back in 2026, because I have a few ideas on some series of art that I have started but just haven't really moved on, and I want to be able to take you through that process of, you know, what it's like to start to develop a series idea, and create it in, you know, I'll say real time. I know obviously on, you know, Instagram and TikTok, a lot of things are very fast, and when you speed things up, it looks so like well together. I think it's the right way to put it. It's like the artist knows where they're going to put the pencil, and it's just amazing. But there's so much time where every piece of art has an ugly phase, and you've got a lot of time where you're thinking about it, trialing different things. Not everything works. So I'll see how I go with a series on that. But yeah, look, I hope you found this interesting. If there's any questions on layering pencils, happy to answer anything from people. Again, like I said, there's so many great colouring book artists out there. If this sort of interests you, definitely have a look. There's so many people that just create beautiful works of art in colouring books by using all sorts of different materials. I've been blown away. You know, this is obviously me just using a limited palette, but you know, there's so many people who do such a great job. I've been absolutely blown away, and I was a bit scared to post this because it's, you know, it's a different focus, but you know, sometimes there's just the talent of everybody just doing things is amazing. So anyway, I'll stop rambling, and look, hopefully I'll see you very soon, and I hope you stay safe wherever you're watching. Thanks. Bye.